Carly, on debate night, poll after poll was asking people what's most important to you. And the two issues that kept coming up was the economy and race. How do you expect to bring us together under the umbrella of race relations, and why people, and to try to help bring the country together, given this rocky situation that we're all faced with today?
You know, I'm a conservative, Maria, because I know that no one of us is any better than any other one of us. Each one of us has God-given gifts. Every one of us has the capacity to live a life of dignity and purpose and meaning. Progressive policies have failed so many communities, and in particular, progressive policies have failed African American communities. And so we need to provide the opportunities in every community for someone to find and use their God-given gifts. It's why it's so important to get this economy going and growing again. We have to, in particular, disentangle people's lives from the webs of dependence that government has woven around them for decades, that do encourage them to move forward in their lives, but discourage them from doing so. We need to make sure that every single child has a real chance to be educated. Absolutely important. All of these things must happen, but we need to go back to a fundamental that every American is worthy and that we cannot leave a single American behind, regardless of their circumstances, and regardless of their race.
And of course, then there's women. You have an op-ed today in Huffington Post. The status quo isn't working for women in America. You know, the Dems have been saying for a long time there's a war on women. I don't know, I'm a woman. I haven't felt that war on women. And yet, when you look at women in general, the progressive policies haven't done much for them.
Well, in fact, progressive policies have failed women, just as they have failed the African American community. I mean, just to put the facts on it, African American youth unemployment, for example, is worse now under Obama. More women have fallen into poverty under President Obama. We have record numbers of Americans on food stamps, record numbers of Americans who cannot find the jobs they want. Progressive policies are failing. In a state like California, where I lived for 12 years, the income inequality gap is vast. 100+ billionaires and the highest poverty rates in the nation. So one of the things we have to understand is that when, for example, you press on seniority systems, which reward time in grade, not contribution, you are disadvantaging women, just as one example. When you have programs that discourage people from moving forward in their lives, you are harming women and poor communities. When you have Planned Parenthood, just to pick that, which is an organization that has preyed on poor communities of color, that is a problem. In New York City, where you're sitting today, there are more African American babies aborted every year than born. That's a terrible thing for the African American community.
Some real unfortunate statistics there. Carly, thanks very much for joining us. We appreciate your time. We'll be watching.
Thank you, Maria, for having me. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, and we'll see you at the next debate. Carly Fiorina joining us there on the